Hi, my little space cadets. I've got a tiny little story for you today. When I say tiny, I mean tiny. Look how small it is. This is the tale of Peter Rabbit. Now, because it's so small, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the words and then I'll show you the pictures. Okay? Here we go. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother under the root of a big fir tree. "My dears," said Mrs. Rabbit one morning, "you may play in the fields, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Run along and don't get into mischief." Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuce and beans and radishes, and then he went to look for some parsley. But whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor ran after Peter, calling, "Stop, thief!" Peter was very frightened, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe among the potatoes. Peter ran and ran right into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons of his jacket. Peter shed big tears. Some friendly sparrows heard him crying. "Oh, please try to free yourself," they said. Mr. McGregor found Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. Peter rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a watering can. Mr. McGregor began to look for Peter under each flower pot. And then Peter sneezed. "Kerchoo!" And Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, but away ran Peter. After a time, Peter was so tired that he began to wander about, going lippity, lippity, lippity. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked. An old mouse was running along the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the woods. "Please, Mouse, which way to the gate?" asked Peter. But the mouse had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Peter wandered until he came to a pond where a white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched. Suddenly, Peter heard the noise of a hoe. Scratch, 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 scratch. There was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions, and just beyond him was the gate. Peter started running as fast as he could go. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter was able to slip underneath the gate and was safe at last in the woods outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running till he got home, where he flopped down upon the nice soft sand. Now, what has Peter done with his nice jacket and shoes? His mother wondered. I am sorry to say that Peter was not very well that evening. His mother put him to bed and made him some tea. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread, milk, and blackberries for supper. The end. Bye, guys.